The high-ranking official delivers a speech about completion of construction of a wall separating Mexico from the USA. Once here illegally I lived many people, but now, all this behind and in it big merit of Tesla Corporation 10 years ago created remarkable robots, which it is easy to carry out tasks once to subject people. Besides, they not plunder and don't force. Decent Americans also don't protest when from them get rid very conveniently, for the speech comes to an end, and Roboto Cleaners brings the meeting place in an order. The young man comes to a skating rink where faces with the attractive girl, with which at it is fastened romantic relations. A time later, the man notes the woman and helps her to collect a baby carriage for what it thanks. Consider his guy, and then he the robot. The cleaner watches behind that as breaks in case of execution of the task, also gets to the garbage machine. Having risen the office, he welcomes the stepfather, which is also his boss. The old man Charles perfectly himself is happy. I recommended permanently. I give flowers for mother and generally very good son too. To the same the guy at last forgot the unfortunate love which left to it to the stepbrother. In the evening, Charles agrees about an appointment with the girl with skating rink, also goes home, where it is waited by Charles. It is clarified that C2 is the robot substituting the master of the person. Charles specially, I made the copy that to get rid of annoying and difficult actions of operation of preliminary appointments with girls, because in the relations interests him only the intimate side. Very conveniently on the next morning, Charles hears news about that one of the leading analysts, the company's it is sentenced to 28 years. The inference for knowledge of the robot, the double, it is strictly prohibited by the law. The man makes the decision not to quit from houses at the same time C2 in the evening. It goes to the girl, whom I zachadry C2, and having received the leaves on a skating rink, where to get acquainted with very attractive the girl whom call Elaine. Having returned home, it gives the instruction to the robot it is accurate to throw to a predid, which wants to acquaint him with the parents, and itself starts a courting ritual for following, showing to Elaine the talents. He blows the trumpet hammers full spheres in bowling, also buys up everything that is pleasant it to the new girl. He never felt nothing similar. Also, I intend to make them in the first time unforgettable. One night its doors ring, and having blinded the man, bright lamp commands to let inside the representative of FBI. Charles understands that his friend Ashley, who is aware was double who is available. For it, man greets with saddle, tells army to bathe the adventures in a look, the ninja for what Charles also calls him the ninja. At this time Elaine comes home where the robot, the double of an ADV. Elaine meets her as interested, as they're past it day, and commands to make love to Charles, which causes in it boredom of the correctness, hardly reports, calls other boyfriends, and laziness. Having counted the amount, the money and gifts which got from them, disposes to finish the relations with small perspective gentlemen. And Charles meanwhile goes to office on the way, nearly about a carriage with the child, and having shown very discourteous, and then hardly pretends to be the loving son, listening, the invitation of the stepfather to arrive at a meeting council of the company members, of which decide question of its tolerance to control business, in the fact that the appointment with it is made on the same time as appointment from Elaine and Charles. It of course not really is pleasant. It rushes home, also commands hardly to go on meeting while it will go clean. The robot reminds about him set the rule not to quit to both at the same time, but the man is inflamed with future appointment and it is ready to spit for Charlie's danger. Gives to the robot the address and itself goes to prepare for a meeting later. It buy it on to the specified address, and having discharged open to it, the butler passes to the room where beforehand turns off the light. Having entered in, he freely offers dark location to the woman to make love, explicitly describes as it with it will be to do at this moment. Light lights up, and the guy sees before himself a meeting financial management led by, not having for horror, the stepfather. Charles jumps out for a door, understands that I confused the addresses. Seriously, I don't understand as it was possible to confuse, so all right, and the laziness sets a pawn shop at this time. The gifts received from its numerous in passing, considering boyfriend's videos via Danier of an EDV and C2 seller impressed with shots, suggests to sell both video and Elaine promises to think over it question, while robots test the real volcano unknown it before passions in the morning. Charles can't to communicate with the double at that time as Elaine can't phone before. Both of them enter the house, and laziness where, and they face first. Carefully all try to clarify about last night when on their phones calls from doubles who come admit that fell in love with each other and we intend to go to Mexico where android equated in the rights with the person. It turns out that the ladies' man and the hunter for money wanted to fool each other, but there was that. What nobody could expect and the Elaine falls into rage, but Charles quickly cools it. Both of them can receive serious periods for use, robots of doubles having talked couple to clarify that both robots are made one and the same. Handyman also go to him onto Charlie Road. Shares women the pride of its pica. It is single the machine in the USA is painted such color, and in the laziness in turn states it. The she uses contempt too, that not to go to bed with everyone, and here it completely replaced itself, himself. In the relations trying to obtain only carnal joys of steam comes to the handyman Zach, and that having learned about occurred he panics too. Can get penal for manufactured doubles is to find only one way out and to destroy robots. It uses also finds the GPS system fugitives later. What Charles asks couple to help it departs allegedly to the bathroom and Ashley rings Ninjius. Then all three go to the necessary address having reached Motel Zach. Arms couple and show's number are occupied by robots in love having understood, then androids are engaged, or it rushes inside also cuts down the double too, you do. Charles of Steam transfers, robots van. I returns to number to take away things borrowed by doubles, when inside Ashley rushes and tests both having stuck eyes a finger it in its judgment. The only way to identify the robots so far, couple tries to prove that they are people robots, come themselves and disappear on them in a coach, or in rage. But there is nothing to do. They come back home morning of Charlene goes to operation and gets on, where his father offers a meeting to it, to have a rest. Its acts show that the guy obviously not in, then shows shots on which Charles, and on the business side too behaves outrageously at office the night before the man goes home, where it is found by a call from Elaine. It goes to a meeting which occurs at the Table Summer Cafe and admits what is ready to be destroyed. The double after that girl departs allegedly in a toilet and itself springs its machine, also goes. And here to same time jumps out of cafe also laziness, which unsuccessfully catches up with the car stolen Charles. And having faced to understand couple that they were parted by robots, they just told doubles about the plans here. They see as E2 are transplanted in Elaine's machine, having left Charles's pickup at roadsides. They try to catch up with androids when the message that receives video robots goes to Mexico. And afterwards there are frames of robbery are done, them doubles of steam. Be horrified them precisely now will arrest. Sometimes Charles offers laziness to sit out in the forest lodge of his stepfather. They come to a solitude and settle on night, and laziness proves to be skillful the hostess unlike Charles. And that wishing to be rehabilitated to offer to the girl alcohol thus night turns into the cheerful party, which for a while Charles tries on couple in the morning. It shows the recolored machine looks ridiculously. But it isn't so recognizable that causes laughter and laziness. The guy carries it to the river, suggesting to hook fish for breakfast. But the girl having been tired to wait, the trout kills from gun. Having had breakfast, fishes of steam goes towards Mexico and near boundary stops them. Police officers who checks documents, but strangely enough releases couple on councils to clean a back stoplight from colors. First, Elaine gets poisoned by fumes over when dawns on it the loser Charles. It means that at police know it is ordered their capture. They revise video received from robots. Also understand that all it is just a performance, and the robot anywhere also didn't think to leave, and at present enjoy life giving themselves. For people of steam goes to the house to the stepfather. Many learn that their doubles decided to play wedding. The dumbfounded people penetrate into the house, having accepted a mask of robots cleaners. They listen to the speech of the newlywed watch them. The first dance go behind them to the room for where they manage to cut down disguise both doubles, and having thrown out them in a window to dip the van. Soon they reach to the coast of the lake where drop all two in water. But having been accepted to an EDV, the woman decides to take off from it. Gold jewelry, when robot comes itself. Psi 2 also. Charles comes up and disappears suggests to make from this a bait for the robot, but also the laziness knows that an edva for what won't agree to play a bait and suggests to go to Zach. It appears it has one more electronic laziness on these conditions. He agreed brings E3 and will reprogram it on Charles, then also the laziness writ.